My friends, welcome to Riell Truth. I am Howard Riell. Let's begin with an item that is more important than anything I've ever talked about on the show before. It's that important because it involves our children. Item from NBC News. Sexually transmitted diseases are on the rise in America, according to new data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. In fact, nearly 2.3 million cases of chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis were diagnosed in the U.S. in 2017, surpassing the record set in 2016 by more than 200,000. Experts say many factors have contributed to the rapid rise, though the biggest one may be less frequent condom use. It's less clear whether dating apps like Tinder have contributed in some way to the spread of STDs, though some researchers think they have, unquote. My friends, no grand conspiracies, no special prosecutors, no national elections, no nuclear arms deal with Iran or North Korea, just your children's lives. I can't think of anything more important. I want you to be uncomfortable. I want you to flush. I want you to squirm. But I want you to sit down with your kids, assuming, of course, they're old enough to understand what you're talking about. And I want you to have that conversation with them. I want you to talk to them about sex and about the implications of having sex. Unwanted pregnancies, emotional turmoil, broken hearts, broken families in some cases, and sexually transmitted diseases. I know you don't want to sit down with your kids and talk about stuff like that. I didn't either when my kids were that age. But because it's important enough and because it involves my children, I did it. And I'm glad I did. You will also be glad you did, and so will your kids, because there are STDs out there that can ruin their lives in any number of ways. You may not want your kids to be sexually active. As parents, we only have a limited amount of say-so when it comes to that. Kids do what kids do. Teenagers do what they do. Our job as a parent is to protect them in whatever they do. One way or another, the kid's going to find their way to the opposite sex. We need to talk to them about STDs, which are way out of control today, to make sure that they remain safe and healthy. Now, I tell you to do a lot of things on this show that are good for you and your family and your country. This is the top of the list. The number one job of anyone who's a parent is to care for and protect their children. And so, yes, I want you to have that conversation. It's Wednesday, Riell Truth, and I'll be right back.
Serving Longmont in the Front Range of Colorado since 1994. We specialize in guns and currently have over 400 guns for sale. We also buy, sell, pawn, and trade for gold, silver, musical instruments, knives, archery equipment, quads, side-by-side, coins, and a lot more. We buy gun collections and do appraisals, which is smart for insurance purposes should a claim arise. We are, according to the ATF, Colorado's second highest volume gun dealer, and because we have a lot lower overhead than the big box stores, we can beat the big box stores by as much as $100 per gun. And we have the lowest interest rates in Northern Colorado, half of what the corporate stores charge the people that we love. Come and see us at Grandpa's Pound and Gun. If you love guns, if you love gold, come and see us. Check us out on the web, www.grandpaspawn.com or 303-772-7952. Grandpa's Major Trading Group is the gold and silver company. Putting it up the industry for 21 years. Are you tired of the high-pressure sales tactics, the constant phone call? Are you done with the bait and switch? You just want to be treated fairly with honesty and respect? That's exactly what you get when you call 800-951-0592. You got my word on it. I'm Jim Jacobs, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group. Check us out online at allamericangold.com.
All right, guys, let's kick it off. Howard Riell, Riell Truth. Here is Newt Gingrich on Neil Cavuto, Fox News, talking about your favorite subject and mine, whether we admit it or not, liberals. Neil Cavuto, I respect the hell out of you, but you're wrong. Donald Trump, as president, has a bully pulpit, and moral guidance and ethical guidance is part of his job. He should be talking out about Twitter and about Google and about Facebook. This is not a distraction. This is part of leadership. He's not only inking trade deals, which, by the way, he's very, very good at. He's also trying to get us back on the right moral compass, and I applaud him for that. And here's what else the American people get. When Donald Trump speaks from the hip, when he lets you know off the top of his head what he's thinking with no filter, you know that you're getting the straight dope from him. You're getting honesty. He's telling you what he actually feels, not what has been tested and approved by a focus group somewhere in the office of a political lobbyist or a PR spinner. You're getting the real goods from Donald Trump. He's honest, he's straightforward, and that is immensely refreshing.
As you see in these primaries,
all around the country, whenever Donald Trump, almost without exception, whenever Donald Trump supports a candidate, the candidate wins. So what are we to get from that? Very clearly. Donald Trump's popularity around the country is enormous. So if there are still simple-minded nitwits out there talking about a blue wave, you can tell them, for me, that they are simple-minded nitwits. There will be no blue wave. There will be, I predict, a red wave.
for factual reason.
My friends, now I know that Newt Gingrich is a brilliant guy because I've said exactly the same thing. The same yahoos who were holding their heads in disbelief because, after all, Donald Trump couldn't possibly become president. Those same yahoos are the ones talking about a blue wave. Ain't going to happen. In fact, just the opposite. We'll be right back.
A heart attack will experience nausea, vomiting, indigestion, shortness of breath, or simply sudden extreme fatigue, but no chest pain. Get emergency medical help and call 911 if you are experiencing any of these symptoms: pain, pressure, burning, or splitting the chest, jaw, shoulder, back, or arms, unexplained shortness of breath, sudden severe nausea, vomiting, or indigestion, splitting the body, sudden unexplained extreme fatigue, loss of consciousness or bleeding, or unexplained panicky assumed anxiety, importance to your body. Following everything, and if you experience symptoms that are disturbing you in any way, or even remotely related to your heart, get yourself checked out for info. If your doctor brushes you off, that's a sign you need a new doctor. Let's all act with physical steps to get the help of your system.
And his boldness, we have all received that grace for grace. For the law was given through Moses, but grace and truth came through Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus. No one has seen God at any time. The only begotten Son, who is in the bosom of the Father, he has declared him. The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 16. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessing of liberty for ourselves and our posterity, to ordain and establish a constitution.
My friends, welcome back to Riell Truth. Howard Riell behind the microphone. like it or not, the state of Florida is a key one in every national election. They just held primaries a couple of days ago. Here's Ann Coulter talking about them. By the way, she's correct. The internet has destroyed the media's grasp on Americans. Nothing wrong with saying something negative about McCain.
They apparently claim they love straight talk. Straight talk, David. Straight talk. Whether or not that applies to McCain, that's exactly what we're getting from Trump. Like, nothing we've ever seen before. And now they're on to all these screaming about his Twitter feed. We've never had any kind of view that would the president thought that way. Sometimes, you know, isn't it weird? Right? When we're Trump
Exactly the point I made in the last segment, Ann. I'm guessing Ann Coulter listens to my show. She's making precisely the same point I just made. Yes, when you're getting a stream of consciousness stuff from President Trump, you know it's real, you know it's honest, you know it's straight from the heart, and that is an amazingly great thing to get from a president.
You're so blunt.
My friends, Ann Coulter makes a good point. If you talk to a liberal, they will say Stormy Daniels is a feminist hero. Stormy Daniels is a whore. She's a slut. She's a liar. She's a cheater. She's anything but a feminist, and in a way that's not a bad thing because feminism today has become convoluted and warped, and it's a really crazy and stupid thing. So the fact that she's not a feminist, I don't care about that. But anyone who gives credence to a whore like Stormy Daniels deserves to be lied to, I suppose, by the left-wing media, which they are.
Stan Coulter book.
I'm exciting news. I'm coming on your radio network at 1 p.m. You know the show? No.
All right, here's what I'm going to do, my friends, because I love you. We have a commercial break coming up in a couple of minutes. I'm going to search feverishly for Ann Coulter on the Rush Limbaugh Show. And if I can find it, I'll play a piece of it. Item from the Washington Examiner. The LGBTQ community is heralding the election of the first bisexual Senate nominee, Democrat Arizona Republican Kristen Sinema, who will face off with Representative Martha McSally in the fall election. Arizona voters shattered a lavender ceiling in selecting Kristen Sinema as the Democratic nominee for U.S. Senate, said the LGBTQ Victory Fund. The The Washington Blade, the newspaper voice of the LGBTQ community, said after her election Tuesday that Sinema, quote, achieved a significant victory on Tuesday in the Arizona primary when she became the first openly bisexual person to win a major party nomination to run for a U.S. Senate seat, unquote. So, folks, you're going to have to call in and tell me because I don't know the answer. What is the benefit to the voters of a senator being bisexual? It's a real question. People love the fact that a bisexual person why? What's the big deal? Do you think we maybe have our priorities screwed up a little bit? It doesn't say here in the Washington Blade that Kyrsten Sinema is the most qualified person for the job, or that Kyrsten Sinema is a genius, or she's got lots of experience, or she brings a long resume to the job. It says she uses her vagina for a variety of things. How does that benefit the voters? How does it benefit this country? How does it benefit anyone or anything other than Kyrsten Sinema's vagina? Maybe it's that I'm from Brooklyn. I just don't get things like this. You know what? Thank goodness I'm from Brooklyn. We'll be back.
All American Canadians will come and find this everyday hardship is dedicated to our all American Canadians will come.
The Lord brings the counsel of the nations around. He makes the plans of the people of no example. The counsel of the Lord stands forever. The plans of the heart of all generations. Blessed is the nation. The God is beautiful. The people he has chosen has been 1 years. Psalm 32 verses 10 to 12.
We hope these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit. That in secure of these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just power from the consent of the governed. This the American consent. American window pane incorporated a breakdown provides parents keep an eye on your child while child cheaper administrator become law. This poses an opportunity for the would-be abducted. Please make every effort to keep track of your little ones at all times. If you have information regarding a lost child, call local authorities at once. This message from American Window Pane Incorporated breakdown for residential or commercial window pane. Call 303-263-4228. No one anywhere are noble wages bill. These brave men and women have been put the field for our freedom every day. With the military and our prayers and the thoughts. This message is from the posting at your 24-hour Walmart supercenter. I have 2 of you that have been here. They're on the air because they care. Most people think they can't afford to invest in their school system, but at the Victory Trading Group, we believe that everyone should have the opportunity to own hard assets. That's why we created our Preferred Metals program. You can get started for as little as $100 a month. Go to allamericangold.com and click on our Preferred Metals icon to learn how you can get started today. Or call us at 800-951-0592 with Patriot Trading Group, allamericangold.com.
My friends, I told you I loved you. And I told you I'd get it for you. And And I got it for you. Rush Limbaugh from about an hour or two ago with a special guest, Ann Coulter. Go, Rush. My friends, Chris Wallace is the greatest beneficiary of nepotism there ever was. Mike Wallace was his father. He was one of the pioneers in TV news. Chris Wallace got jumped ahead of all the other people who wanted his various jobs in the media because of his father. And Chris Wallace is basically an asswipe. And if you watch him on TV, you'll come to the same conclusion. Sorry to interrupt, guys.
Or accepting the results of the election.
Now, Ann, let me put your mind at ease. Ann Coulter said in the Mark Simone interview, and now again with Rush, she's afraid that liberals might read her book, get some advice, some pointers, and use them effectively against Trump, and that will not happen. Doing that would take the ability to learn, to cogitate, to think rationally and act logically. The liberals will not be able to do that.
Give me an example of something.
All right, guys, I'm going to stop here. We're going to take a commercial break. When I come back, I think this is an absolutely fascinating conversation between two of the very best minds in America. We'll come back to Rush Limbaugh and Coulter right here on Riell Truth. Folks, I'm playing for you an interview that happened just a couple hours ago with two of the best political minds in America, Rush Limbaugh and Coulter. Go.
Hey, this would be an honor Democratic Party's philosophy, and the left-wing philosophy is, we're still on that, from that off. I think we can get the left to start spending dinner last week if we told them that Trump was against it. But if they went to their old-style Democratic politics, all you're going to get is Trump there is not really hopping forward on top of those principles, that's the law. But they can't do it. They can't put it where they can it last week. That, if the Democratic Party was saying, that should be Trump. He said, he's got a Republican in. He's got a Republican
absolutely right. And now you know why I'm playing you Rush Limbaugh and Ann Coulter. Rush is so correct. All the spectacular things that Trump has managed to accomplish so far, the booming economy, the trade deals, the getting rid of the rules and regulations, strengthening the border, helping the vets, and on and on and on, all the miraculous things he's been able to accomplish, given the fact that everybody seemingly in America is against him, everyone in the media, all the Democrats, many of the Republicans, all the college professors. He's been able to pull off miracle after miracle, result after result for the benefit of the American people. And if the Democrats win in November, they will wipe it out. The reason I'm telling you this is because the state of Colorado has the everlasting shame and disgrace of having voted for Hillary in the 2016 election. That is a shame, that is a stain that will not wash off. And so here I am lacerating my listeners across Denver, across Colorado. Now I know if you're in my regular listening audience, you're not the person I'm talking to. You guys are solid, dependable Donald Trump voters, common sense, intelligent people. You're not the ones I'm talking to right now. I'm talking to the yahoos in Colorado who voted for Hillary, who didn't mind that she was the most corrupt candidate in history, didn't mind that she's an inept fool, and voted for her anyway. Well, if you are a Democrat voter, if you're a Hillary voter, and if your paycheck is bigger now because of Trump, and if you're benefiting from a stronger, more prosperous America because of Trump, well, then you owe it to yourselves and your families and your neighbors and your communities and your country to vote for Trump, even though you didn't vote for him in the 2016 election. You owe it to yourselves and to America to be smarter this time around.
Yes, that's absolutely right. One of the wonderful things about Trump, I mean, he does get the message out. And as I say in the last chapter, we may not get the wall out of him, but I do think the way he raises issues on Twitter, I completely disagree with the cliche you hear all the time on TV. Oh, he tweets too much. No, I love his tweeting. I want him to be the official communicator for the Republican Party.
Wait a minute. Now, my memory could be failing me, but I thought, speaking of the wall, I thought there was a period of time, and maybe 2 months ago, that you had really gotten down on Trump and were openly saying so. It seemed like you'd lost some faith, and it was about the wall, it was about immigration, but you don't sound like that today.
All right, stop right there. You know I love Ann Coulter. You know I'd like to have her children. But she's unfair to Trump when she lambastes him over the wall. Trump has done everything humanly possible to get the wall. Congress will not help him. The Democrats certainly won't help. They wouldn't help a little old lady across the street. The Republicans won't do it. Trump is trying everything he can, but he can only do so much. So, Ann, I know you're listening to my show every day. You have to get off the president's back about the wall. He wants the wall as much as you do and as much as I do. But he's got to fight his way to it through Congress. All right, so here's what we're going to do, my friends. Here's the strategy. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to have 4 minutes. I'm going to use 4 minutes to listen to some more Rush Limbaugh and Coulter. And then I'll sign off and I'll be back tomorrow. But I want you to stay tuned. In fact, better, I'm going to take this video, post it to my Facebook page, Riell Truth Radio. I want you to listen to the entire thing. It's 19 minutes and 12 seconds. And then I want you to share it with the entire universe. We'll be right back.
Now, the testimony is gone. Did not deny the confess. I am not the Messiah. As they asked him once, are you a Elijah? He said, I am not. Are you a prophet? And he answered, no. The 19.
widely influenced. Special thank you to my veterans for the sacrifice highly for our freedom. This message is from Chapel Call, LLC, the same location in Burnett, Arkansas, serving the community for over 13 years. Visit online at chapelcall.com. Total country online client. The men and women of our military dedicated to serving our country. Their commitment to carry security safe and strong. Just honor those who lost their lives in the line. The victims who spent today is reminded from total country first that 4462 young alcoholic trauma concentrate in the area and to work on the end of our future. More information call 970-535-578.
All right, guys, aside from me, Rush Limbaugh and Ann Coulter are the smartest people on the radio. Let's listen to 4 more minutes of their exchange. I just posted on my Facebook page, Riell Truth Radio. Listen to the whole thing when we're done. Share it with your friends. Share it with neighbors, coworkers. Put it out there in the universe because we need everybody to hear this. Let's go back.
Well, I've been giving him tough love on the wall since the day after the election. I hope some of you and everyone remembers the election night. I remember it very distinctly. And I thought, as your ad was America, and when Trump reached out, finally happened, we have a shot to save America. Network is done. I'm just going to keep that. I'll bring out a reflection of mine in Palm Beach. I often enjoy my time. You know, it turns out the president is now a transactional presidency. He does have to be surrounded on the nose with the robot newspaper, but he goes, hey, but remember, he used to do that all the time during the campaign. See? When he was first on H-1B visas and Marco Rubio, and all of Twitter explodes, he has to come out with a verification and retraction if you are not like, so we do have to keep an eye on him, but I mean, it would have been the end of the world if Hillary had been president.
Hang on one second. I've got the video is in revolt. It is going to a commercial, which I'm going to get rid of as fast as I can. Let's see. And it's gone.
What is the actual
All right, we're not going to get into that. Folks, on the commercial break, I posted this 19-minute, 12-second YouTube video on my Facebook page, Riell Truth Radio, R-I-E-L-L. Go there because what Rush just said a minute ago is absolutely spot on. We know that if Trump loses, everything we want dies. If the left wins, if the left gets rid of Trump, if the left picks up seats in the Senate, they will reverse the course, the healthy course, the return to health that Donald Trump has been responsible for. We will go back to the Obama years with unimaginable numbers of people unemployed, on food stamps, economy nosediving. Everything we want for America, for ourselves, for our families, for the future, everything we want is pinned on Donald Trump. And so we've got to rally around him and the Republicans and make sure the Trump effect continues. I'll be back tomorrow with more, my friends. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.